Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to El Tel Cockerel. And it's Jose and
And Colin, how's it going, everyone?
how are you, Colin?
I'm well. Nice to be back, sharing the screen with you, my friend. Um,
Yeah, it's been a
yeah,
while,
man,
hasn't it?
it has. It feels longer than just a couple of days too. You get so used to doing it every day, you're like, wait, what am I doing now? But no, it's nice to be back. Um, yeah, hopefully hopefully no more breaks like that. But no, it
No,
was good. It's
I
good to
haven't
see
streamed.
everybody.
Yeah, I haven't streamed since Sunday.
Yeah,
So no, since Monday even.
I was gonna say I thought we did one. I thought there was one this
No,
week.
Monday. I did Monday because I've been away with work Tuesday and Wednesday. So and I was only back today. Um,
How did work
yeah,
go?
busy,
Yeah,
busy. So I've been away with work, and when you messaged me, I thought to myself, but I haven't done a show. You were telling me about my show, and I was like, but I haven't done one. I haven't been on
yeah.
a show. I
Oops.
haven't done one. So, um, yeah. So, but we're here today. We're here today.
We're here today.
Yeah, we're here today. Today, which is the date today is the 13th of June, which means that it's um, what do they call it? Um, transfer season eve, if you want,
Nice, nice.
because they don't the transfer the summer window opens tomorrow. So today is the eve of that opening up. So,
You getting excited?
mate, I've got a show with a few questions today, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask the questions of the people that are in our show because there is so much going on out there, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's just like, well, you can't appease everyone. It's just, it's seriously, I need to understand where it's coming from, and hence I've got four questions today um, to ask you what your thoughts are, and to also ask the people that watch the show today. Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. But let's say hello to the few people that we've got in here at the moment. Adrian says good afternoon, Jose, and Jose the panel et al. And but Adrian was here earlier.
Big up, Adrian.
Smash the likes on your way in if you can. Peter, our paramedic, said it's 1 o'clock in Melbourne. Daniel Coy says Tammy Abraham really is that our level of striker we are looking at seriously. Shemtam says good afternoon, bossman Jose Mourinho and Colin, the new assistant. Hope you're well today. And
Doing
then
great.
Daniel Coys again says I think some of our players were linked to our shite and I ain't excited. Okay, fair enough. I can see where you are already, Daniel. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not hiding anything. We're seeing his true feelings today. As always, he's not the type to hide how he feels.
True. True. Um. But yeah, as I said, I've got four questions to ask today. Have you read up on any of the news today?
A bit. I saw the Tammy Abraham link that
Okay,
Daniel's
no, no,
talking
no.
about.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Have you read anything yet? Have you read anything today?
Un petit.
Book it. Okay, I'll tell you what. You might as well tell me what you've read, and then I'll ask the questions after you've told me what you've read today.
So I've seen the Tammy Abraham link, but I've also seen Paul O'Keefe like almost instantly shut that down. So I don't think that that's true, and that's how much that you value Paul O'Keefe's opinion. I know that some people do less than others, and then I saw the supposed Oliver Skip is there's interest in Oliver Skip from Leeds supposedly. Um, and that's pretty much all I've seen. Oh, and supposedly Christian Romero's been linked with Real Madrid. And those are the three things that I saw today.
All right. Okay. So my first question then is right, and I'm going to do it in the way that I wrote them all. So. Right, let me see which one I'm going to do first. Right. First of all, I'm going to start with this one. Are fans requesting that the club needs to make statements about our manager, or is this just hype by social media?
I'm guessing this has been all over X or something, Twitter,
Uh,
shit, or wherever. You know, has
it's,
that been
I'm,
seeing this?
it's been in places that I've seen,
Okay.
right? And I can't understand it, and I don't bother getting involved because I just cannot understand it.
Yeah. So
So,
ask him to make. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
people are saying, right, that the club needs to come out and back the manager and say that they're backing the manager and say that the manager's here to stay and they're not going to sack the manager and stuff like that. And I've put it in there. What do our fans think? The people that watch the show, what do you think in the chat? Do the club need to make statements about our manager? I don't see why, me personally, but do they need to make statements? How do you feel? Do you think we need to make statements, or is this
No,
just
I
hype
think.
on Is this hype by social media, where some people in social media says, "Yeah, we need to say that we're backing the manager."
Okay, as soon as that happens, Jose, the same people would say that's just words. Levy could say whatever he wants. Of course, he's going to say he's backing the manager. So I think the same people probably asking for it wouldn't be happy even if they got it. To me, though, it seems like that stuff should all be implied. I mean, it should be implied that you're backing your manager. It should be implied that your manager is here to stay. It should be implied. I don't know. I don't know why having to come out and say that is explicitly, say that explicitly is necessary. Yeah,
So
I don't know.
I'm going to
That's a
get
weird
right.
one for me.
Let me twist it, Colin. Right, let me twist it a second. Right, but before we twist this question, let's just say hello to a few more people. DC Daniel Coy's saying, I told people I wanted to be convinced after loaning Werner at this club is serious in the market and signing the player is nearly out all of last season with a knee injury. Abraham, seriously. Morning from Nick, round table talk. Good
Big up, buddy.
afternoon to Stewie.
Sue,
Good
what's up,
afternoon,
Sue?
everyone.
Hey.
Adrian is saying, the end of the transfer window will prove whether the club has backed our manager. Audio Artisan is here saying, afternoon chaps in chat. And Daniel saying, I want to see my club go for a serious striker. Right. So what I was going to say to you on this question here, and I wanted to know because I don't believe this is fan led. I think this is people within social media got nothing better to say, and that's why this pops up. And it's not from many. Let me say that it's not from many at all. But let's look at Manchester United. Have Manchester United come out and said they're backing Eric Ten Hag?
Not that I know of.
But they're going to offer him a 2-year extension.
Right. So there's ways to.
Yeah, but I haven't verbally said, yeah, we're backing the manager. Yeah, we believe in him. Yeah, we had a bad season, but he's won the FA Cup for us. Teams don't come out and publicly back when they don't have to. Do you hear Manchester City coming out saying, yeah, we're backing Pep? Pep's done a great job. We're backing him. You don't hear clubs doing this. So why do people think that as a club, Tottenham need to come and say something about their manager?
It's odd. But yeah, it sounds like you said. I'm glad to know it's just like a minority of people saying that. Because you're right. We want to be seen as a big club. We want to act like big clubs. I don't feel like big clubs do that. I feel like their decisions that they make, contract extensions, things like that. I feel like their actions should kind of speak in these situations, and they shouldn't have to actually come out and say, yeah, we're backing the manager. We still have faith in this guy. We're not, that's bizarre to me. I mean, you would think, and I can tell you think the same way, that the actions of the club should answer those questions, and there shouldn't have to be like a direct statement about it.
Yeah. So you've got Peter is saying, it doesn't matter what they say. Too many times you hear boards backing the manager, and 4 weeks later the manager is gone.
Yeah, man.
Daniel's saying, I don't really understand. Angie's not under pressure, real pressure. Why would the board have to come out and back him? Right. So to me, it kind of answers my question. Stewie's saying, at Leeds we hardly hear anything, and that suits us fine. And Peter is saying, Ange under pressure, lol. Right. All I would like to hear is a statement that this club will back Ange properly in the market. That's what I want. Right. So basically, from the people that are answering so far, and there's 4 people that have answered, And so basically, it's not that we need to make statements. It's just a few on social media that for some reason are coming out and saying, "Well, we can't be right because we're not coming out and publicly backing Ange."
That's weird. Also, coming out and saying we're going to back him in the transfer market too. I sort of feel like weakens our negotiating standpoint in the market because people will know that we're going to come out and we're going to buy. I almost feel like that statement implies regardless of deal or price. And, you have to be realistic as well. You don't want to show all your cards before I think that's a lot of the times why you don't come out and say, yeah, we're in the market for a striker right now, because then teams go, oh, well, I mean, it is obvious that we are. I think coming out and says it weakens your bargaining standpoint, even more than it already is, with teams knowing already that we do need to.
But these statements, Colin, are not coming out about us going for transfers.
Yeah,
these are just general statements and sweeping comments that are being made to say the board need to say that they're behind Ange. He's been given a 4-year contract. At the end of the day, what more do you have to do? He's been given a 4-year contract. And then when I'm hearing all this, I then liken it to Ten Hag. With Ten Hag, Man United have gone and done their review, end of season review. They've done it. Ten Hag is being offered a 2-year extension on his contract. They haven't come out and publicly said anything at all. They've gone about their business. They've done it. They've continued doing it. So why do people feel that our board have to come out and say something about Ange?
Yeah, absolutely bizarre.
And that's why I asked the question. I was trying to understand, are fans feeling that way? Or is it something that's been created by social media? And I'm getting
a little bit of both, maybe.
Well, the answers that I'm getting, and I can see in the chat, don't necessarily correlate with it being the fans. It correlates more to me with it being people within social media just stirring up the pot.
When there's nothing to talk about, that has to happen. You got to have some news for your Spurs news account on Twitter, of course, or
Some in social media have been saying it for a while, and I don't understand why.
I get sort of like, if you have a bad season, and his season wasn't bad by any stretch, but people were expecting better at the beginning of the season, and then it plays out the way it plays out. I guess I could see, because we don't have an option. There isn't. We're not going to give Ange a contract extension right now. He's on a big contract, so we didn't have the option to come out like that and give him an extension to show, I guess, the fans that the board are still behind him. But like you said, why wouldn't they be? Just strange to me. I assume things are good until I hear that they're not.
So do you? It's interesting. You just said he's on a big contract. Is he on a big contract? I thought there were many others managers in this league that had bigger contracts.
Oh, I guess by bigger, I meant like length of time. My bad.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I don't think he's on one of the bigger contracts, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think we've learned our lesson on that.
You was talking about the 4 years rather than anything else. Well, yeah. You've got the new boy that's going at Chelsea. They've given him a 5-year contract. So the 1 years and the 18 months, they've done the rounds. They're now going for long hauls.
Yeah. I mean, good for them, and they probably ought to. But I think Daniel Levy's also learned his lesson with paying out managers the entirety of their salary after he lets them go. That we're not going to be doing anything too big, too long. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot. Nothing seems wrong. Why assume that it is?
So Nick's saying, why does our fan base have this mental block with the first X1? People act like other clubs, don't rotate the squad. If the quality is there, e.g., why would you come here and just sit on the bench? Mr. Daigle is saying hello. Big up everyone in the chat and guys on the screen. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
I hope you're well. Good news. I've been told with everything, so I'm really happy for you, mate. It must be a weight off your shoulders, and hopefully your body clock and stuff doesn't take too much longer to kick into gear and give you some sort of normality, my friend.
Yeah, big love, Daigle. Glad you're doing well, man.
Ange Ball. No, Colin, mate. No, there's nothing wrong. I'm coming out has the club and saying that we would be ambitious in the transfer market. Why do people have it? What? No, Colin, mate. No, there's nothing wrong. I'm coming out, has a club, and saying he will be ambitious in the transfer market. Why do people always have an excuse for everything?
Fair. Hey, opinions, man. We all got them. We all got him.
Peter Kagaya says that's because Ange haters want to know if Ange will be sacked.
You're 100% right, I think.
Nick is saying the club, Levy, and the board can say anything. I'll save judgment for their actions.
Yes.
Peter is saying, Mr. Daigle, I hope you're feeling okay. I'm going to go back to you've got. It's only took him 23 years to realise he sacks too many managers. And
He's
beyond
not a fast
72,
learner, our Daniel. Yeah.
beyond 72, big up Daigle. Just seen a young fan calling out Levy. There's still hope.
Yes.
We've got a question here from Angeball, and I'm gonna star it because if I star it, then I can get this question out of the way. So on this, I can only surmise from the people, and we don't get hundreds and thousands watching us, wish we did, but from the people that are watching and from the people that are commenting, I believe that this is more coming from social media. I spelt social media wrong. I spelled it Sakale. Done really well there.
Sakale Media. Hey,
Sakale Media. So this has come exclusively from Sakale Media.
we've got the inside scoop,
We've
everybody.
got the inside scoop with Sakale Media. So yeah, I get the feeling it's coming from social media rather than the fan base. So that answers that. Right. And I'm going to take that banner off and then I'm going to ask the question. The starred question is from Angeball. Angeball says, big up, lads. I have a question for everyone. Would you be happy to lose Romero to Madrid?
Interesting question. No is my answer. There's not very many like qualifiers there though, or not much like context. Like happy to lose him to Madrid for like a record fee. Happy to lose him at all. You know, lose him implies we don't want him to go, but he goes. He's on a big old contract, so I don't really know how that a long contract as well. I don't see how that could really happen. I don't know. Weird one. But big up, Ange Ball. Big love. I just feel like the question is obviously a no answer, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you got, Jose?
For me to answer Angeball, I tend right. I've got other questions. I've got other questions banners as well, and we're going to be linked with everyone in the world, right? And so are the teams, but we only care about Tottenham Hotspur, so we only care about who we're being linked to. We don't care about anybody else that they're being linked to. But I suppose what we go through is what every other fan base goes through, and they're being linked with everyone in sundry as well. And I think that this news broke yesterday, right? And a fair few people have already said straight away it's come out from a nobody, not a tier one source or anyone that's reliable. It's come from like left field, someone who's left field. They've put it in there, and then people have jumped on the bandwagon. Do I see Romero going this season? No, I don't. Do I see Real Madrid having the money to get him? No. Can they get the money? Yes, because they get funded by the royal government. So they get funded by the royal family, and they get bailed out all the time. Madrid. So Madrid can never ever be in debt. They'll always be all right, and they'll always find a way. But Madrid have just signed Mr. Bloody what's his name? Mbappe, and with wages and everything that they're going on that, that's an absolutely super humongous deal that they've already done. And whether they could pull off another stroke like that, I don't know. I don't believe that Romero goes anywhere this season, in the sense that I think you'd have to be paying. You'd have to be looking at 100 million plus comfortably. It would have to be bid and have to be accepted in order for him to go. As I said, I just feel that the source, it's been said, I mean, I'm not going to tell anybody in the show that I'm clued up about this and I'm close to the club because I'm not. But from the sources and from the people that I, follow, who've already commented about this, and people that are more in the know have said that the source that this came from is just, yeah, it's a rubbish source. But other people, like they do, they retweet or they put their own message out and they tell you where the source came from, and the source ain't a reliable one. So, but I would not be happy to lose him. No, but I also don't believe he would go. It would take an astronomical offer, and we'd have to accept it in order for him to go, and that's not this season. Got 3 years left on his contract as well.
Forcing a move wouldn't be easy.
Well, no, but even that's from what he said about and everything he said about Tottenham, and everything he said about Ange. I think he's very happy at Tottenham.
Yeah,
and
I get that same.
Yeah, I think he wants to see Tottenham succeed. And we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But hopefully that answers your question. We've got, before I bring the next one, I've had some few more comments. Where was I? Like Brian said, Manchester City don't need to do that because they have a history of keeping managers for a long time, as do other big teams. They also back their managers. Tottenham do not keep managers and give them time. Yeah, I understand where your comments coming from, but I feel, and I've got something else. I've got another banner already lined up, but I feel that this guy has been given a 4-year contract, and unlike other managers that we've had in the past, I actually think there's more structure and plan around this guy than what there was with the other managers and that. I mean, we've discussed it to death's door about, bringing in trophy now managers, not giving them the players, and 18-month short-term contracts and stuff like that. I just don't think, for the life of me, that, I just think that there's been a change in the way that we deal with, or we've dealt with this with Ange. I just think there's been a difference in the way that we've dealt with Ange. What do you think, Mr. Seelers?
I mean, yeah, I agree completely. I think also too, we talk about this a lot too, with all of the people behind the scenes have been brought in too. This whole data-driven model thing, the fact that all Ange really needs is young players with legs that can run and will run for him. I don't know. It bodes well for his system working out. I think it bodes well for us in the transfer market, and that bodes well for Ange's future at the club. So, yeah, I think the chips are falling into place.
You got Bill Bass says, Ange is going nowhere. Langer does the deals on the quiet. The main thing we do is trying to clear all the deadwood to move forward as a club. Ange got a 4-year contract. He's going nowhere.
Big up, Bill. I fully agree, buddy.
Shem Tam is saying, if they give us Bellingham.
Would you make that trade, Jose?
Nah. Cootie is Cootie.
I know, he's your man.
Yeah, Cootie's Cootie. Daniel Coy says, Real Madrid are putting in the work just like they did with Modric and Bale. He's gone either this summer or next summer to Madrid. I don't think, as I said, this season, it would have to be an astronomical fee. It's going to be an astronomical fee to get him out anyway, and it has to be accepted, that fee. But I just don't think it's going to be this season. I just don't think. I don't think that they can pull off a stroke. They can pull off a stroke of what they did with Mbappe, and then bring in another top tier player that's going to cost them X amount of money. I think they were talking about it was 85 million alone for his signing on fee for Mbappe. His package just in the first year seemed, with all the add-ons and everything that goes with it, seems to be around 150 million. That's a lot of money to spend on one player. So, I don't see what's his name? I don't see Romero being sold on the cheap. Also, so therefore, I don't think it's going to happen.
And maybe it's probably better. And for Romero being able to speak Spanish will help. But I don't know. Not every player that goes to Madrid has an awesome time or loves it there. Most do. Some don't. So I think that's also something that's in the back of players' minds. He would fit in like a glove there, though. He would fit like a glove. Yeah, interesting thought. I hadn't given much thought to him leaving just because, like you said, I don't think it's going to happen. Not this summer, at least.
So Stewie's saying, I think the question came up because it was discussed on Dan's show earlier. What question, Stewie? Enlighten me.
This Romero one, perhaps?
I didn't put a Romero question up, though, did I? Oh. No. Oh, unless I mean Ange Balls asked the question. Okay, sorry. Nick's saying to lose Romero would need to benefit the club enough to replace a loss of a talent like him. Good afternoon, Side Dancer. Hi, everyone is saying hello. Bill Bass is saying Spurs are under key stage 1, under the rebuild. We are at key stage 2 in the rebuild. Next summer, key stage 3, where it's a fully Ange squad. Fair comment.
Yeah, I hope so.
Daniel Coy says it's Real Madrid. They always get what they want. In the end, Romero's gone by 2025 to Madrid. I just said I don't think it's going to be a season. Nick says 90 to 100 million or he stays. Ange Paul says Ange has had all season to give Gio some game time and try to integrate him into the team, and yet he throws him on for the last 5 minutes of games. Convince Gio to stay, play him, and I'm sure Romero will stay.
Are they that tight? I don't know. I knew that, they're obviously.
Everybody at Argentina loves Gio.
Oh, weird. Cool.
Yeah, they all love Gio in Argentina, and it's because Lord Messi loves him so much that everybody loves him as well. But then Lord Messi also loves Cuti.
Yeah, that means let's just get Messi at our team.
Yeah, Lord Messi wanted Cuti to go to Barcelona when he was there before he left.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Interesting. Audio says, I feel like Radu is Cuti's replacement, just like Richie was Kane's.
I don't see it, Audio, but.
And Daniel Coys says, spot on, mate. It's obvious. So he's agreeing with Audio.
Is it? Well, what do we do? How do we mark this down so that if you're wrong, I can call you out later? I mean that with love. But
Daniel Coys says, let's see how long he goes without being unsettled when he knows Madrid are calling. Beyond 72 says, I love Spurs, but if Madrid come calling, it's game over. No way would Romero want to stay with us over them. Bill Bass says Spurs are at key stage 2 of the rebuild. We'll be in good hands with Ange. Next year, we will be at stage 3 and a fully Ange team. All Deadwood completely gone, and Davis being the last of the Deadwood. Ange Ball, cheers for the answers, boys. Ange has to give Romero reasons to want to stay, and having his buddy Gio here is a definite step in the right direction. Not to mention that he's not a bad player himself.
That's true. That is true. I'm pleasantly surprised with the cameos Gio made last season.
Audio said, did you see the Docs under 21 winning the league?
No, I didn't know there was. I didn't know there was a documentary about that.
Okay. Was an interesting insight into some of the younger players. Luca Gunter looks to have a very strong mentality. Some others not so much. Audio, tell us where that is. Is it on YouTube or is it on one of the channels?
I bet it's Spurs Play. I bet you it's on Spurs Play.
Do you think so?
That's my guess, but
you got Ryan G says, big up Jose and Colin. Big up to you, brother. Ryan G. I hope you're well, sir. You have Ben Kaufman saying, evening, everyone. Good evening, Ben. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. Ben Kaufman says, Romero's gone next season, not this season. David Clark, good afternoon. DC says, Romero's going nowhere.
Big up, David Clark. Big up, buddy.
And then you've got Ben is saying, South American players dream of playing for Barca and Real Madrid.
Everybody does.
DC, and DC's on it today, isn't he? Sorry, Daniel Coys is on it today. He's saying, how the hell are we going to be a serious club when we actually think let's keep a player just because he's mates with Romero? Serious clubs don't act like that, seriously. David Clark says, if Richardson was Kane's replacement, then that tells me what clueless owners, answer scouts, Spurs have.
Clueless owners and scouts, I think.
Yeah. Adrian has said that he's posted the videos of the under-21s. Audio is saying that it's on Tottenham's YouTube account, so that means everybody can see it. Lee Statham's here saying, hello, everyone. Hello, Lee. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well.
Big up, Lee.
Right, so catching up with that, my next question was going to be, and you got Leo has just popped in and said hello. Hello, Leo.
Yo, what up, Leo?
Right, so we've done that one. So I've got right. What one will start the people off next? Right. I'm going to ask this one. Where are you as fans with regards to the outgoings and the incomings? So as fans, right? Where are you with regards to the outgoings and the incomings? That's a simple question. I'm just going to ask the people in the chat. And whilst I'm asking the people in the chat, I'm going to ask the same question of you, Colin.
Well,
and can we just guarantee this, right? You have not seen any of what I've prepared today, have you?
Nothing, not a thing.
Right.
Yeah. But in regards to outgoings and incomings, I mean, the transfer market, window isn't open yet, so we're gonna, obviously not really any incomings, but as far as outgoings, I'm pleased, and even the potential outgoings, players that haven't, been officially gotten rid of yet, but are looking to, they're looking like they're going to. Spence leaving, Emerson looking like he's probably going to get a move away. We got rid of Ndombele. Did anybody? I don't think you and I have talked since that happened, Jose. Since we released Ndombele a year early on his contract, that's what everybody wanted. What people have been crying out for us to do: rip up contracts, get Ndombele, especially himself, out of here. That's done. So you can't be anything but happy about that. Incomings. I mean, I'm pretty excited with the players that we're being heavily linked with. I know that we're going to be linked to everybody, but the old no smoke without fire adage, these ones that just keep being brought up make me think that there is some weight to them. There's a couple of strikers we keep hearing about. There's Eze, which looks pretty likely. That would be awesome. Gibbs White, Conor Gallagher. It looks like we're going to be in for a midfielder, a forward player. I honestly think that we're going to need another right back in this scenario. But yeah, I mean, so far I'm really happy with what I've heard. The outgoings, I'm pleased as punch. And there's only going to be more of those. So yeah, I'm pretty happy so far. So far we've done what fans have been clamoring for the team to do, and that is thin out the squad, get rid of players that aren't in the future, in the future plans, and then we're not worry about really making all our money back on them. Just get them gone so that we've got room in the squad to fill with talent that'll actually help us forward.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
So where the chat are, Ben Kaufman's worried.
Dang.
DC says, have you heard the rumours about Spurs looking at Vanderson?
I have not.
The Mile High Hotspur Leo says, to be fair, the transfer window isn't open yet. Some clubs are doing business.
Yeah.
Ben says clubs are making moves already for their top targets, and we are sitting on our asses playing wordscapes. Guys, I put in there to smash the likes for the stream, as it all helps, and I would do appreciate it.
And we do it for you, God dang it.
Good afternoon, Martin Knightsbridge. I hope you're well, Martin. Nice to see you, and I hope you're really, really good. Yeah, I think you're back in Spain, aren't you? And if you are, I hope the weather's better than what it is over here, because we're not getting much sun over here at the moment. Leo says, I'm so overwhelmed and over this transfer window, and it ain't even opened yet.
I hear that.
Peter Kagaias says, well, Ange pulled his broom out, and that's a start. Mark Cook, big up Jose and Colin. Good afternoon, Mark. I hope you're well, sir. Hope you're well. David Clark says, Spurs did rip up his contract. They came to an agreement with Ndombele to pay 3/4 of his final year contract, to which he had to agree. Well, by the sums that they're talking about, I would have said it would have been 50%. Because if he's on 200 grand a week, like people purported, then that makes it over 10 million, his salary. And if that's the case, and his salary was over 10 million a season, if they're only settling at 5, then it seems like it's 50%. Either way, they've settled it, and he's not here anymore.
Exactly. That's what I was referring to.
Leo says, yeah, exactly. So far, they've done what they've had to, getting rid of some dross.
Good word there. That is a nice
Adrian
British word.
We will get a striker, a winger, 2 midfielders, and a right back. So Adrian's saying we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in.
I'd be happy. I'd be happy with that.
Daniel Coy says, I'm being real, Jose. Does Abraham scream ambition, mate? Because it does not to me.
One source said that, Daniel. One source, man. Yeah. Just one. And then we had our guy come out and say it doesn't look likely. So
We'll
don't
come
know.
back because we've got some. I've got a couple more questions, and you haven't seen them, so it's good because it all tallies in. I think everything interlinks, which is kind of cool for today.
Yeah.
David Clark says it's a good job. Ange Ball says, right, hard to judge just yet. If we don't nail down the Eze deal, I will not be happy. Just pay the release clause already, and I'm not best pleased we missed out on Lloyd Kelly. But things can only get better.
Ange Ball, you and Chang. Chang was always he's been wanting Lloyd Kelly since last summer. So Chang's probably pissed that we missed out on him.
And the other thing is, I'm sure I saw Chang because I've been working away for the last couple of days. Oh, sure, excuse me, cool. I saw Chang somewhere or heard his dulcet tones somewhere, which means that he must be feeling better because he wasn't feeling better at the end of last week and the beginning of this week. So, Chan, if you're
Well,
watching
Chang,
this
if
on
you see
playback
this,
or if a message gets back out to you, I'm really happy that you're feeling better, my friend. Really,
so
really
am I.
happy.
Me too. Me too. Not just Jose. It's me too, Chang.
Martin Knightsbridge, yes, back in Spain. I think we need to get a lot out and a couple of quality signings in. I don't think we will buy a lot. Fair enough. Ben, I actually like Abraham and he's homegrown, but we can get better. Chris Lonnie, good. I think it's good morning to you, Chris. I think you're in Oz, so I'm going to say good morning to you. If I'm wrong, you'll tell me. I'm 100% happy we didn't get Tosin, Ito, and Kelly. If only spent on Isaac and Eze kept everyone else, I'd be a happy 100%.
Dang.
David
well, I mean,
Clark.
Isaac would be phenomenal.
Yeah, David Clark said, let's hope the Spurs players are more positive than a lot of these Spurs fans about the next season.
Hell yes. Absolutely, David.
Ben is, we've not got an excuse. We've got no excuse for not getting Eze over the line yet. There is one price, just pay it. And that's exactly what I said on Monday. On Monday, I said, no. Leo's also saying positive vibes and hope Chan's feeling well.
Love the love.
Chelsea, Juventus are opening to selling Chiesa. Would you take him at Spurs? Right, the Chiesa question, I'm going to have to start for a second. So, where are we with that? Right, so go back to the banner. Where's the banner gone? Did the banner? Which banner did I have on there?
You had the one about incomings and outgoings.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've answered it already, haven't you, with regards to outgoings and incomings?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, Chris Lonnie's in Western Australia, and it's 11:41 p.m. there.
Nice. We're not outrageously late. That's good.
But it's still late enough, and it's good to have you here, Chris.
Well,
Nice
of
for you
course.
to comment, and that's what we want. As I said, at the end of the day, the people that come to this show, we want them to comment because I'd like to. Whilst we're not busy enough, I'd like to read out the comments so everybody gets to see and hear what people are thinking. You got Fiona. Hi, Fiona. How are you? I hope you're well. Says Lloyd Kelly wasn't even a regular at Bournemouth. Should have gone for Elise. Yeah. And Ben says Napoli and Juve are swapping Di Lorenzo and Chiesa from what I've heard. So there's internals. It's amazing, right? And I will say this for the Italians, and I'll say this for the Spanish as well. And I'm even going to say it for the Germans. It seems to be that in every other league, and it's probably because they know, because they haven't got the monies and stuff like that, and everyone's in turmoil throughout Europe in the leagues, but they all seem to get deals done with each other. If it's a swap deal, or even if you're buying a player, you're never asking for outrageous amounts. You're always able to settle at an agreed fee or something that's agreeable to both parties, and one player can go in one direction and one can go in the other. They find it so easy to do in these other countries. Yet over here in England, you try and buy a player from another club, or a club, a rival club, whoever in England, and we call it the English tax. So the deals that are done over here are so difficult to do because you're asking the earth from someone. But it seems to be that these the people, as I said, in some of the European countries, they find the dealings between each other to be far easier. Yes, it's always interesting. So what Ben's put is it's just interesting.
Yeah.
David Clark says, if you go into Harrods knowing full well what the price is, they change and they ask for £12 for a coffee, you either pay the price or you get your ass out the building.
100%.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But the question that Ryan's asking, I'll let you answer then, Cole, is Juventus are opening to selling Chiesa, would you take him at Spurs?
So just making sure that I have the right dude. Small little guy, pretty creative player. Is he kind of a box to box?
Plays wider up front, I think.
Really?
Wide left, maybe.
So here's what I'll do. I have 3 screens right now for some dumb reason. So I'm going to put a compilation on while we're talking, and then I will get back to you in a minute and tell you if I would take him as first.
You'll get back to me in a minute and tell me.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch a bit and say in a minute, oh, yeah, I would take him because I just don't know a thing about him right now, like at all. Not even body type or what he looks like. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to watch some more, but he's not a monster of a human being. Definitely not a big guy. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer it with any sort of with intelligence here, and I don't want to sound. I saw a thing the other day where somebody got tricked on YouTube. Somebody asked them about a player that didn't exist, and they were like, "Oh yeah, good. He's a good player." And then turns out that player wasn't a real guy. Yeah. And so I don't want that to be me. I always refuse to do that. So if
I've not seen the program or whatever, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it. So
yeah, it's about as bad as you'd expect. I mean, and stuff happens, but I just don't ever want to pretend to know stuff that I don't.
You've got Adrian. Adrian's piped in with Spurs need to shop at Harrods, not in Poundland.
Love it.
Yes, Adrian's on fire. Ben Kaufman, because we flooded our league with foreign talent because we couldn't develop top talent, and we are suffering because of it. You wouldn't see teams in Spain, Italy, and Germany with no home players. But it's just that they're able to all transfer players from one club to another. The players, there's players out in that league in Italy that do the rounds that go to several different clubs, and it doesn't seem to be an issue. You don't get the issues that you get over here. Oh, you can't play for them because you played for them, and you can't do this because of that. But they seem to get deals done all the time in Italy, in Spain, and in Germany, and in between clubs. And as I said, it seems to be that a deal gets struck. So somewhere the two teams do meet and get the deal struck and structured where the players can either move across to each other or you can buy a player. I mean, players get sold in Italy, and you think to yourself, really? Is that all you paid for him? But yet, if you were selling them to England, in England, you'd get charged the earth to buy the player. But when English clubs try to do deals with each other, it's just, you pay, as I said, you pay what you call English tax, and it ends up being like absolutely mad, the prices that we've got over here. David Clark says, I told Spurs fans about Chiesa 2 seasons ago, yet we sat on our hands. This guy is pure quality. Daniel Coy says, I would get Chiesa's dad to play up front for Tottenham, even though he's in his 50s. And then Beyond 72 says, you've got Beyond 72 says Chiesa, and then it's a lot of fast forwarding arrows, and then we end up with Werner, is what Beyond 72 is saying. Peter saying, Ben Kaufman, that's the English mentality they've invented and gave the rest of the world, and they've perfected it. Beyond 72 says, I shop at Lacoste, but during the sales. I like Lacoste. Lacoste is Spanish. Mark Cook says, we're always touted with expensive signings. Example, this year is a 60 million Reece clause. Instead of paying it, we will end up with Morgan Gibbs White, the cheap option for about 30 or 35. Hi, Tot Spurs. Good afternoon, Tot Spurs. Says, hi, Jose and Colin and all. Chris Davis now at Birmingham's manager. Knowing our academy players as well as he does, maybe a team we can send them for first team competitive football thoughts. Yeah, I'm all for it. If it benefits the player. I mean, some of our players have gone out to. Excuse me. Some of our players have gone out to League One, and then the following season they've gone out to the Championship. So if there's players there that he believes will thrive in League One, then I'm not opposed to Chris Davis asking Tottenham to take them if they're going to get first team football. It's all about the agreement. They've got to be getting the first team football, and if they get the first team football and you do what it says on the tin, and you educate, coach, and the players that you take, then it works well for the player, for the loaning club, and for us as the parent club. And that would work wonderfully well at Birmingham because they're in League One. That would be work wonderfully well. So I would not be opposed to it whatsoever, Tot Spurs. If that was the case, if that's what we were going to do, I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. And I never really thought about it, but it's a good shout, mate. It's a really good shout because you're quite right. Chris Davis being there, he would know. Would he know all the academy players? Because he was our assistant coach, weren't he? Would he know? I suppose he should know the academy players, but I wouldn't be opposed if you got to trust. You got to trust the club and the manager that your kids are going to, so to speak, or your players that you're loaning. Because like I say, Sevilla, we had a deal, and the deal with Sevilla was, we let Alejo go in good intent, thinking that we were going to get a really good deal out of it. He's going to get a run and stuff like that, and get more time. And he never ever got it. So there's a lot of trust. If it works well for player, loaning club, and also us as the parent club, then I'm all for it.
Martin Knightsbridge, his last comment there, he's saying the exact thing you are.
Martin Knightsbridge down here.
Yeah.
I agree the youngsters need loans, but it has to be a good loan where it benefits us and the kids' development, not just a loan to get the kids out the door. Yeah, exactly that. Ben, because English football is a business and not for the betterment of football. Perfect example, Matt Letitia from Peter Kakayas. David Clark says, Barcelona has a feeder team in the lower Spanish league, full of young players, and when they're ready, they come straight into the Barcelona's first team. Barcelona B play in the same league that my Deportivo de La Coruña play in. And we've just won the league, and we won the Federation playoff as well. So I'm really stoked we're going up. But Barcelona B, who are the second team for Barcelona, they play in the league that my Deportivo play in. It's the same as any other team. We used to have a reserve league in England, which is now gone, and that's why you now got under 21s. But we used to have a reserve league, but now it's the under 21s. In Spain, you don't have a reserve league, but your B teams, and even you can go down to some that have got C teams, they are actually in the feeder system. The only thing is that a B team can get no higher than the second division, because the only way that you can your B team can make the first division in Spain is if your first division get relegated.
Oh, okay.
If your first team get relegated.
Yeah.
So if you've got Real Madrid, right, and then you've got Castilla, which is their B team, right? So Castilla get into the second division. If they won the title there, they wouldn't be able to get promoted because Real Madrid are already in the first division.
Yeah,
if Real Madrid got relegated, and Castilla got promoted, then that would you'd be able to swap it around like that. So
man, what sort of world would we be living in? That would be the sign of the end of times, I think.
But what it means is that you've got competitive football for your reserves, if you like. So they're not really reserves because you've got a squad of 25 players who are your first team squad, and then you have another set of 25 players that will make your second team, right?
So, I think it's a great idea, though. I like that format and the way they have that set up. I mean, I think that's nice.
I mean, I thought it wouldn't be too long before it happened over here in England because there's one trophy. I can't remember what the trophy's called, but there's one trophy here where all the under 21 or the under 21s are welcome to join the competition if they wish. I think one of the under 21s reached the quarterfinals this year, and I can't remember whose under 21s it was. But it's different. Once they got rid of reserve team football, which is what we used to have back in the day, many moons ago, Colin, probably before you were born, we had reserve team football. That's all now gone. I think you had was it the Southeast Combined Counties League or something it used to be called. But now I think it's a good idea. People may not agree, but I think it's a good idea. Right, next we've got Daniel Coy says, I've seen links with Skip going to Leeds on loan. Daniel Farker had him on loan at Norwich as well. New one on me. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so I saw
David Clark says 70% of the lads we send out on loan barely get enough games for them to progress.
I would agree. Maybe even higher.
Mark Cook says, Jose Collin, thoughts about Romero to Real Madrid and what it means for our ambition. Mark, we discussed this earlier, and I said, and Colin has said as well, that I'll say what I said. Mark, it's come from a poor source, broke this, and people have completely jumped on it and retweeted it out and that. And when they retweet, they have to put where the source came from, and they've retweeted it out. And a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon because it's news. It's something that's in the shitosphere, so it's news. But one thing I take with a pinch of salt, it wasn't a very good tier source that broke this. And the other thing I said was that I can only see Romero. We bought him in for 40 odd million. You're talking about a double and some if you're going to sell him. And I don't think Madrid can do a deal this year for him with the amount of money that their deal was for Mbappe. Even though that the Spanish government, Spanish royal family bail Real Madrid out all the time, I think there'd be a bridge too far to try and bail them out this year.
Yeah.
I also think that Romero is happy at Tottenham from all the interviews he said about Ange and stuff like that. I think he's happy here. However, next season could be slightly different. It could be that a deal can be struck next season.
And I mean, honestly, Jose, if you're completely honest with yourself, we knew that Romero was one of the top center backs in the world, and he was quite young. Did we expect to get him and to keep him at Spurs for his entire career? I didn't, you know what I mean? But it would have been nice. It'd be nice, but I just didn't ever think that was going to happen. So, of course, it was the same. Eriksson didn't really get it to go his way, but Eriksson even kind of said that when he came in, that one of those two clubs were his final destination, you know what I mean? And he was kind of he had a plan for how he wanted his career to go, and I assume most players do. You just have to make Spurs as appealing of a destination as possible while they're here, do as much as you can to meet their ambitions and expectations, and then it is what it is. They'll be there or they won't. Spurs will still be here. Yeah. And
Ange Ball says Federico Chiesa, best years are behind him. Never looked the same player after the ACL injury. Hence why Juventus are willing to part ways. Daniel Coy says Spurs are useless at loaning players. Do you know what, Dan? I would have agreed with you before, but now I think that they've got better at it because I can see what they did with the Divine loan, where Divine went to the first division. I think was it Port Vale? No, was it Port Vale? Yeah, I think it's Port Vale he was with, and he was steps above them. And in the end, instead of them wasting them time there, they called him back in January and then let him go up to the Championship, so upper level, to go and play for Plymouth. So, and then you've got Ashley Phillips had a good loan, Rodon had a good loan, Spencer's had a good loan out in general. So a lot of the players that we've loaned out, some of them we've had to loan out because we can only have 25 players in our squad, and then we've loaned them out because we're looking to try and sell them. But some of the players that we've sent out on loan, the young uns, some of the young ones have done really, really well on their loans this year. The only exception to the rule was bloody Alejo Veliz, and that was because of internal politics between the manager and the board. Otherwise, Veliz would have got a fair crack at it. And it's interesting that Tottenham are linked to the forward at...
Oh, wow. That was keeping Alejo out of the team.
Yeah, Sevilla, yeah, El Nesri, but El Nesri's a monster. I've said it all along. In the air, I've never seen anyone beat him in the air. He's a handful in the air and that. But yeah, it's interesting. Ange Ball says, I'd sooner have Federico Chiesa over Timo, though, every day of the week. Chris Lonnie says, I think Seville changed manager and politics got in the way about silence. Oh, I didn't even see Chris's comment, but you're saying exactly what I've said. Ben Coffer says, I would add feeder teams to the pyramid. So doing what the Spanish do is basically what you're saying that you'd do. Daniel Coys is saying to me, Jose, who's the ex-Arsenal striker who went back to the Deportivo in the third division on a massive pay cut, fair play to him? Right, so that would be Lucas Perez. So Lucas Perez was signed by Arsenal from Deportivo years and years ago, and he went and spent 2 years at Arsenal, and then he was sold back to Spain. Lucas Perez is now, I think, 35 years of age, or there or thereabouts, and Lucas Perez felt that he owed Deportivo, and when his deal ended at the club that he was at, and I can't remember who it was, he decided to join Deportivo on a free transfer and play free of charge for Deportivo.
Wow.
And we got promoted with Lucas Perez this year. Remains to be seen whether Lucas Perez will play next year. However, what I will say about Lucas Perez, or what I will say about Deportivo, is that Deportivo only have youngsters in their team. We have no money, and we have these youngsters. So we might need Lucas Perez again next year. So Martin Knightsbridge says, I watched a video the other day of Real Madrid under 12s. Oh my God, they can play ball and have all the tricks. Who else have we got? Because I've got a couple more things. We've got so many people in the chat here talking. What if Real Madrid got relegated and the B team finished mid-table? Could they both be in the second division? No, they couldn't. They couldn't. The B team would automatically have to drop down to the next division. Yeah, it can't happen. You can't have two in the same division. They'd have to drop them down. Yeah, they'd have to drop them down. Mark Cook's reminding me. So the reserve team played in the football combination. That was the league. It was a football combination league. And he also says, Mark says, I remember going down the Spurs back in the day to watch the reserves at White Hart Lane. And we've got a Malaga Jose here. And he says, up the Spurs and up the Malaga. So he's from, obviously, if he's Malagueño, he's from Andalusia. And he's a Malaga supporter as well as Spurs.
Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. Jose, does that team hate your team or anything?
No, espero, Jose, que todo esté bien en Malaga. Yeah, that's it. Ryan G's got the right name. Lucas Perez, that's right. Ryan G says, are they expected to keep Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen to Ben? I think they're talking about because Conte's gone there. Ian Ferguson, good afternoon. He says, big up, everyone. Just got you another sub. Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. If you comment, Ian, and get involved, we will read it out to you. But thank you. Tottenham should try and do a deal for Archie Gray with Skip and Rodon. Ange Ball, I had this conversation the other day, right? And I'll ask you in the chat. And I don't know whether people understood what I was trying to say on Monday. Archie Gray is a fantastic talent, right? And well sought after, fantastic talent. He's 18 years of age, right? But to me, I saw that Wharton went for 20 million from Blackburn to Palace, right? For 20 million. And with him going for 20 million to Palace, I felt that he was the big time, or the best youngster that the Championship had, and he's gone on to Crystal Palace, and from Crystal Palace, he's also gone on to become an England international, and they paid 20 million, and because they paid 20 million for Wharton, who's a first teamer. Who went straight in the first team. He didn't go and hang about on that. He went straight into the first team at Palace, and that's made the English squad. And they got him for 20 million. I think clubs will be looking at that, and I don't think clubs will be going and spending 50 million pound on an 18-year-old. I don't think even Lionel Messi was worth 50 million at 18 years of age. And that's just being realistic. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm just being realistic, and I'm just thinking to myself, you've got people like Hayden Hackney. You got Philogene at Hull as well. You got Schmodix at Blackburn. You've got all these other young players as well that are all playing in the Championship. If their clubs want to cash in on them, then they might want to cash in on them. But people ain't going to get the big money for these youngsters, I don't believe. I think it's good to buy players from the Championship if they're going to be good enough and give them a chance and let them grow, because a lot of players come through the Championship. There's a player that we're after, we're being linked with at the moment. His name is Eberechi Eze. He had to go to the Championship to prove himself, and then he got his move from QPR to Crystal Palace. So, there are players that have come through the Championship.
Absolutely, and I think, I think that league's often discounted.
The boy Robertson, who plays left back for Liverpool, he came through the Championship. So you've got other players that have come through the Championship, but I don't believe that he's worth 50 million. That anyone's going to pay 50 million for him at 18 years of age. That's my personal opinion. Don't shoot me in flames. I did speak to this about the other day, but yeah, I just don't think they're going to pay that kind of money. What's he saying? Brian saying 100 million. Damn. Then again, they did pay 65 for Havertz, and he's better than him. Oh, so Ben's saying that they Osimhen, Arsenal 100 million. Do you know what? Take him. Take him.
Yeah, I know you're not.
Take him at Arsenal. Listen, whoever pays 100 million for Osimhen, good luck to you. I am not sold on Osimhen at all. I haven't been, and I won't be. I'm not sold on Osimhen at all. I think Osimhen misses far more than what he scores. Good in the air, but misses far more than what he scores. And for that type of money, you can, for 100 million, you can get. If you work right, I don't even know whether you have to pay 100 million for some of these players, but for 100 million, I think you're getting much better. I think you can probably get 2 Vlahovic's for that kind of money for 1 Osimhen.
Sheesh. Okay.
So
yeah, I know which of those 2 I'm taking.
Right, Daniel saying me, do Barcelona B team or Real Madrid Castilla play in La Copa del Rey? Yes, every team plays in La Copa del Rey, but the teams don't usually get past the first or second round of La Copa del Rey. I think Depor with winning the federation. So what happens is Depor were in second division Ref 1, and Castellón won second division Ref 2. Both teams automatically get promoted to Division 2, but they have to play off against each other in a final, and the winner of that automatically goes through to the second round of La Copa del Rey. So they don't have to do all the qualifying rounds to get into the first round. Most of these teams don't get far, but they do play in La Copa del Rey. Right, if you haven't done so already, please, people, my co-host today, Colin, has his own channel, if you weren't aware, and it's Talk and Ball. So it's at Talk and Ball _Cole. So if people would like to go and give him a sub, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. He's also put a link in for some products that he's selling on his channel as well. So if people want to give that a look, it's all there for you.
Thanks, buddy.
In a hype, the competition mixing under 21 teams and National League is the EFL Trophy. Yeah, talks have been having a new cup competition with the top 16 in England's 5th tier and the under 16 teams from the Premier League.
Interesting.
Talking having a new cup competition with the top 16 in England, top 16 in England's 5th tier and the under 16 teams from the Premier League. Okay, interesting. What about Somerville at Leeds? Right, I'm not. What can I say? I'm not overly enthusiastic about Somerville at Leeds. I'm not. I think. What can I say? How can I put it? Right, I think with Nonto as well, I think they can both get marked out of games. And I think that a lot of the time as well, if they don't get the rub of the green, or it's not going their way, and they're not having a good day, they instead of being like they really right, if you're there on an even par, they really fall off. If they're not on it, they really do fall off. I saw some frailties. I think Somerville's still very young, and so is Nonto, and I think they could do with another year of first team football. I don't think they've played enough playing this one season. And yeah, for me, I'm not Somerville. I'm not for Somerville. I wouldn't go for Somerville at all, Mark. What about you, Cole? Have you seen enough of Somerville?
Not enough to intelligently speak. I need to get my knowledge up, but like
Daniel, if I said Smodic, it's an error from me. Sorry, mate. Archie Gray proved in the Championship playoff final he's miles off ready for the Premier League. He looked like a rabbit caught in headlights. I think the whole Leeds team didn't turn up on the day. Well, the majority of the Leeds team didn't turn up on the day. I hope that they would have done it because it would have been good for all our Leeds friends that we have, because we have far more Leeds friends than what we do Southampton friends, and therefore it would have been great for our Leeds friends for Leeds to come up, and we were rooting for them. You know,
Does Somerville exclusively play on the wing, or does he play fullback ever?
nah, Somerville plays exclusively on the left wing, and Nonto plays out on the right.
Okay, sorry about that.
And Archie Gray's the one. Archie Gray's the one that's filled in at fullback and at 6, and he's played 8 and he's played 10.
That's how I gotcha.
And then you got Angeball saying, "I'm not suggesting we give them both, but if we could include Skip or Rodon into the deal." But I agree, he's not worth anywhere near 50 million. But I think Angeball, I think that's what Leeds have valued him at, because Skip and Rodon together. How much is Skip going to be worth? Skip's homegrown and everything, so you're going to get the English tax. Skip's
15.
So I'd say 20 for Skip. Rodon's a minimum of 15. You know, it'd be interesting to see where Rodon goes, because for me, Rodon, he had a really good time at Leeds, and it's just disappointing that Leeds didn't come up. And
I was going to say, I think he's shown that he's a Premier League, like a player capable of playing in the Premier League. With what I saw from him last season with Leeds, I think he could have made the jump up, I think.
Yeah. So what if they both get to the final, mate? Barcelona B and Barcelona team. I know it'll probably never happen, but what would they do? Yeah, there's nothing you can do. If they're in a cup final, they're in a cup final. There's nothing you can do about it. You know. But yeah, they'll never, ever, ever, ever. I think Madrid's beating Castilla. They got once, I don't know, to the 4th round or something like that. But yeah, and they went by the wayside. But you probably get more of your. I'd say you probably get more of your 5th tier teams or lower down here. So you get your Conference League teams or lower leagues have probably made it further in the FA Cup than the teams the same equivalent in Spain in the Copa del Rey. That's what I'd say. Tony's here. Long time since not seen Tony. He says, big up Jose and Colin. Hope you're both well. I hope you're well. He says, afternoon on the chat. I hope you're well, Tony. Nice to see you.
Very good to have you, man.
It appears you've not been feeling well, because it says you're feeling a lot better. Well, mate, I wish you all the health in the world, mate, and I hope that whatever it is you've got or you had has done a runner and never to be seen again.
I like it. I agree, Tony. I hope you're doing well, man. Glad you seem to be, and glad you're here. Always good to have you here, bud.
And then you got Ronnie says, big up Jose and Colin. I don't want any Leeds players. Short and frank.
He doesn't mess about.
DC says the latest update on Leicester City new coach Cooper had a second interview, but with Brighton's ex-coach was waited for the Man United job. But when they kept him, Leicester's owner turned to him. He's 1-6. De Zerbi. Are you talking about De Zerbi, DC? Because if you're talking about De Zerbi, there was strong links today that De Zerbi's going to manage Marseille. Angel says, I agree, Somerville not for me. What do you think of Jorginho Ruta, though? He's only 22. I know that we already probably had too many number 8s, but he certainly looks the prospect. I did not fancy Ruta either, Angel. I didn't fancy Ruta either. I'd say to you, from Leeds, I like Archie. I like Gray. I do like Gray. I think Gray's fantastic, but he's not 50 million. Not 18 years of age. He's not 50 million, 18 years of age. You know, if Wharton has gone for 20 million, then there's no way Archie Gray's 50. And Wharton's now an England international as well. And that's what I'm trying to balance it all up. So, God, Daniel's on the Spanish one. Danny, look, what Barcelona could call up half the Barcelona B team to make them Barca B team week for the final? Surely question would be asked. They wouldn't do it. Tony says, I'm good, Jose. Busy time at the airport, so that's why I've been off the radar. Thanks for the kind words. No, mate, as I said, I hope I just seen that people were commenting, are you feeling better? And I never want anyone to be ill. I want everyone always to be in good health. And if they're not, I wish them all the best in getting to their health back. I'm feeling 110. Yeah, the round table says, yeah, De Zerbi is going to Marseille.
It's awful definitive, Nick. Have we got it? Here we go.
You're talking about Potter. They're talking,
Graham
talking about Graham Potter, the ex Brighton manager, English manager. Okay, fair enough.
I'm with you now. Okay, cool. That would be neat. That would be pretty cool. I like him. I'd like him to continue managing somewhere I could watch easily.
And Inner Hype says Andrew Robinson got released by Celtic, went to Queen's Park, got a move to Dundee United before he's moved to Hull, then Liverpool. Now he's captaining Scotland versus Germany in the opening of the Euros. That's what I said. You've got players that have been playing in lower leagues, like Robertson. And when Robertson went to Liverpool, everyone turned their nose up like, what? I think they paid $4 million for him. Robertson's one of the best left backs in the whole of the Premiership.
Yeah, I mean, just because the player's a good deal doesn't mean that they're a bad player. I think that there's like this false equivalency thing where they're like, oh, okay, well, he didn't cost very much. So A, it's a Levy signing, and B, they're going to be shit. When in reality, can't say that all the time. It's dangerous.
True. Right, next one. Right, so the next banner I had, because I've only got through 2 out of my 4 banners, and because people have been popping in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say there's quite a few people. It says that it's up in the 40s. That's awesome. Everybody, please make sure you slap a like, and get your comments in. We're loving it.
Right. So, I'm going to ask this one. I'm going to go ask about face, right? And my next one was, are we right to fly under the radar with our transfers, or should the world and their dog know?
I love it. Cool.
I'm asking that from the chat, but then obviously I'm going to go to you, Colin, in a minute.
Yeah.
That's my third question of the day was going to be for the chat. Are we right to fly under the radar with our transfers, or should the world and their dog know?
You kind of are pulling a Colin with this question. You're kind of coming in, dropping a little bomb, and then running away, waiting for the, what happens. I love it.
I want to see what people. I want to see. This is about the fans. The show is all about the fans, the people that come in the chat. It's not about me and you. It's about the people that come in the chat. I want to know what their thoughts are, because if I read everything I read on social media, and if I read everything I read on Shitter and that, you'd think that was the absolute gospel and the absolute truth, and it was the Bible, right? Where maybe it's not the case. Maybe fans think differently. Do you see what I mean? And that's why I've put stuff in there and I asked the questions, and I'd like to get what the chat say. And that kind of would lead me to think, okay, there is credence in this, or there's no credence in this. So, so at the end of the day, that's why I'm asking the question. So what say you, my man, Colin? Are we right? Or...
I think so. So in the past, flying under the radar seems to have always done us well. Vicario was like a very under the radar signing who we got a good deal on. Talking about deals, he was one of those where people thought that it was going to be a bad deal because his relative low cost and the fact that he wasn't a big name or a bigger named player that we all kind of knew. That one was under the radar. That went really well. I know it hasn't worked out, but it seems like the transfer for Basuma was fairly under the radar. Just kind of happened. And those are good. I mean, it keeps you out of possible bidding wars with other clubs, and keeps you from being bent over a barrel by other clubs for a price when they know that you just don't want people to know you're desperate. You don't want them to know. And I mean, if they're looking at your club, they'll be able to tell. But I don't know. I just think announcing your business is silly. It doesn't do anything. It's like when you have a really good idea, like say you have a really good business idea. You're not going to go out and say, hey, everybody, I haven't started yet, but I've got this really great idea. This could be a really profitable business, everyone. Because then there's a likelihood that someone takes your idea, starts your business, and, you lose out on it. So I think there's a lot of benefit to being quiet, and I don't see any benefit to letting the world and their dog know.
Right. So it's interesting because I'm seeing the comments here, and I'm going to comment on it because I saw something that made me chuckle. Ange Ball's saying, fly under the radar. Tony is saying, fly under the radar. There's 2 players West Ham are looking at, but Spurs are looking to hijack the deals. Are they? Who are the 2 players that you're looking at? And I don't think, I'll be honest with you, right? I don't think we're trying to hijack Abraham. I just don't think we're going to go for Abraham. I just think that's shitter talk again. I don't think we're going for Abraham at all.
We always seem to put out like a big list of names, and then I know that's a Paratici thing, and then we'll go for one player. So he could very well be on the list. I wouldn't be surprised if we've made contact just in case everything else falls through, that we at least have something lined up. But I could be wrong. But I don't want him. I don't want it to come out like that.
Peter Kaya says that Andrew usually works on the radar. This is the comment. Is this the comment I made? No, it's not. Is this the one? Right, now Mark Cook says, Jose, I want us to do our business early in every window, identify and buy. Martin Knightsbridge says, much prefer the signing out of the blue rather than talking about every man and his dog, then don't get them.
True that, man, true that.
DC says, you can bet if these American investors come in with 40% share ownership, Levy will still be allowed to stay in command, even though he has 29.4 shares. That's why they are limited to 40%. Peter's saying Ange already knows what he wants. And Malaga Jose says Spurs want West Ham radar player Soule. Who's the two players then, Tone? I'm interested. Who's the two players? I think one you might be referring to is Abraham. Tammy Abraham. Right. Is Soule... Right, let me just get this right. Is Soule the Juventus player?
Let me Google him, but I think...
Oh, no. Hold on. What's going on? Right, sorry. Totspur says, we won't hijack anyone. We're too busy monitoring.
Yes.
Like it, Totspurs. Early Doors says, right, Tony's saying Tony is one. Tony apparently is on Tottenham's list. So I don't know about trying to steal him from West Ham because he's apparently on Tottenham's list. Soule, if it's Soule who's
is that the young winger?
Yeah, if it's Soule who's at Juventus, then I think that there's a load of teams that would be in for Soule at Juventus, and I don't think it's one of someone would be trying to hijack. I think quite a lot of people would be in for Soule. Tony seems to be one that keeps coming out that's on Tottenham's list. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But the Abraham being linked to Spurs, I think Abraham's one of like 700 names that have been linked to Spurs, and I don't think that that's going to happen. I
would be pretty crushed though if we went from possibly getting Tony or and then Abraham's the guy that we have. I don't know. That would be a disappointing transfer for sure.
You got Daniel Boys is saying, if we do actually get Abraham, then I'm just about the vibes this season. Ooh, it's just about the vibes.
Yeah, he's checking out if we get Tammy. And that guy's name's actually Kevin. Isn't that weird? He
right. So
Tammy, but his name's Kevin.
Are we right to fly under the radar with our transfers, or should we tell the world and their dog to know?
So Can I ask you to play devil's advocate here and defend the side that we don't feel like? So the way that you phrase this makes me think that you've seen people thinking that we should let people know, or that it wouldn't be a bad thing. Can you think of a reason why we would want to do that?
No. What I'm saying is, right, so my thoughts on this, right, I've seen a load of people, right, there's a lot of people commenting about other people doing business and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can I just say, for argument's sake, to everybody, unless I've been living in the land of Zods, right, I don't know any player that's transferring to a Premiership club tomorrow. The opening of the transfer window is tomorrow, yeah? Am I right?
Correct.
I don't know of any players that are being signed in the Premiership tomorrow for any club. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know any players that are signing tomorrow, because some people are losing their heads saying, but other people are doing business. The only business I've seen are foreign clubs. I haven't seen no English clubs doing any business. I've seen foreign clubs. So, you're hearing people going, yeah, but we're not doing nothing. And, well, what other English club is doing anything? Because as far as I'm aware, nobody is signing for any club tomorrow. Yeah. I haven't heard any announcements of any deals either.
Yeah.
as yet.
Neither have I.
Right? The deals cannot happen till the 30th of June. Oh, sorry, the 1st of July, because everyone's contracts would finish on the 30th of June. So if you buy a player, you can buy him, and they start their contracts on the 1st of June, 1st of July. Yeah, because you'd be stupid to try and buy them out of their contract before then, or pay anything up.
When there's just a sliver of a
Yeah,
contract left.
right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I don't know of any English clubs that are announcing any buys tomorrow. Right. Ryan G, I've just seen your comment. You're not buying the player tomorrow. Yeah? Listen to my English that I'm saying, right? There are no English clubs signing anybody tomorrow. You can announce what you want, but you won't be signing anyone tomorrow. You won't be signing anyone till the 1st of July. Because the 1st of July is when the paperwork will count, and because everyone's contracts finish on the 30th of June. So whoever you're buying, doesn't matter where they are, you're not going to buy them until the 1st of July. So nobody's signing anybody tomorrow. Yeah, you made an announcement on a youngster that you're going to be buying, but you're not buying him tomorrow. That's where I'm getting to with this, right? And the only people that seem to be making moves, right? The only team that seem to be making, or the teams that are making moves that we're hearing teams in Italy, we're hearing teams in Spain, you're hearing teams in Germany, stuff like that. But you're not hearing much about Premiership teams. But yet our fan base is losing their minds about all this. They're all going absolutely mental, right? Right. When you're saying that someone's a free agent, they must have been a free agent for a while, because even free agents become free agents on the 30th of June. So Sessegnon, Tanganga, and Endon Bailey will not leave the club officially till the 30th of June. And then they become free agents. So you're right, you can bring free agents, but they would be the free agents that have been out of contract since last season. They're the ones that you can sign tomorrow. Yeah, anyone who's out of contract from last season and before that can be signed tomorrow, or can be signed at any time, in fact. But anyone that's going out of contract this season will be out of contract after the 30th of June, right? So, so at the end of the day, fans losing their mind to me, right? Because things haven't been done, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So, flying under the radar, I'm going to give two examples of flying under the radar. And Beyond 72 is reminding me. Thank you, Beyond 72 says that's our job to go mental and lose our minds. To be fair, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And Mark's saying I'm correct. Right. So thank you, Mark. So what I will say is, last season I'm going to give two players as an example. Right. So last year it was all about who was the goalkeeper we were getting.
David Raya.
That's it. It was all about Raya. The whole of the summer, all I heard at the start of summer was all about David Raya, how Tottenham were after him, linked with him, talking to him, like him, monitoring. Every word and discussion you want to say, but all but sealed, it was David Raya. Yeah? Are we all in agreement? Right. So, and all of a sudden, Tottenham distanced themselves from all these comments, right? And we went and signed Guillermo Vicario, right? And then everyone said at the time, it's Levy, penny pinching, going for the cheaper option, blah, blah, blah. But then it comes out that Paratici's actually been scouting him since January. And if you looked at the stats for both and you measured Raya versus Vicario, there was a couple that Raya was ahead of Vicario, and there was two or three that Vicario was ahead. But stats-wise, they were the same kind of goalkeeper. Did the thing that we wanted from a goalkeeper in this new way of playing keepers. They both did the job that we wanted. But we went with Vicario, right? Was he under the radar, or did we tell the whole world and their dog about it all?
Completely under the radar.
Right. There we go. Right. Now, the other one I'm going to say, Mickey van der Ven, last season.
Yeah. It was all Tapsoba, I think, was the talk.
That's exactly what it was. People said at the start Van der Ven. Van der Ven's name disappeared. We weren't looking at Van der Ven. And then it's all about Tapsoba. And the moment that Tottenham distanced themselves from Tapsoba and said, right, we're pulling the trigger on Van der Ven, everyone was like, we're going for the cheaper option. Now look at Mickey van der Ven, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, do you have to tell everybody in the world, right? Or do we go under the radar and do our business? So at the moment, as fans, and I do understand this, right? I do understand this, right? So I'm not going to say that I don't, because I do understand. Can I just say hello to Johnny Bethnal Green? Saying hello to
Yo,
us.
what's up, man?
Good afternoon, Johnny Bethnal Green. Right. So at the moment, we are being linked. And I said this, if for people that watch me on the show, I said this, I don't know, I'm going back to the beginning of May or whatever it was. And I said, we'll probably get linked with 4 players. I think I was being conservative and kind by saying we're going to get linked with 4 players a day. And then I worked it out that from 4 players a day to the moment the transfer window opened, we would be linked with about with about 300 odd players, right? The fact is, as each day goes past, it ramps up. You get linked with more and more and more than 4 per day. I was being conservative before. So you're going to be linked with anything between 300 and 700 players from the beginning of May to where we are at the beginning of the transfer window tomorrow. We'll be linked, right? So at the moment, I mean, as the thumbnail shows you, it shows you the correct players that have left our club or are leaving our club on freeze. It's showing you a load of players on the right-hand side that could be going out the door. And then it shows you the players at the middle of the revolving door who we've been linked with. So we're heavily linked with Eze, Tony, Gallagher, and now Morgan Gibbs-White. They're the 4 buzz English players that we're being linked with at the moment, right? So what would happen if we didn't sign any of them, but we brought somebody else in that wasn't known? Are we going to react the same as we did before?
Of course.
And
of
are we
course,
not
of
going to
course.
are we not going to follow the path that got us there? So with the path that got us there with Vicario and Van der Ven was scouted the same as Tapsoba. They've been put through the system through their data analytics or whatever they were looking at, and because we knew what type of player we wanted to get, so they've gone through that and they plumped to go for Van der Ven rather than Tapsoba. Tapsoba was younger. Apart from that, I would have said that maybe some of the stats might have been in Tapsoba's favour, but then speed and stuff like that would have been in Van der Ven's favour, but they went for Van der Ven. So during this transfer window, we'll be linked with players again, and whether we get the players that we're linked with or not, I don't know, but the players that we will bring in are the players that are right for the club, right? And it'll be players that hopefully that it should work out. It should be players that Ange wants that will play and suit his system better. People that can integrate into the squad quite quickly, and people that we can get in to have some sort of a pre-season, because it's going to be disrupted this year because we have the European Championships and we also have La Copa America. But with saying that as well, I think someone put the comments in earlier about being under the radar. Back in the day before social media, we used to like our surprise signings. So when a guy turns up in a Volkswagen Beetle in 1994 and turns up outside Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and gets out of his battered Volkswagen Beetle and it's Jurgen Klinsmann coming to sign on the dotted line, people are like, wow. When you had Van der Vaart sign on deadline day and come from Real Madrid, you go, wow. And these are signings that weren't on the radar. We've had the problem that we've got social media in place now, so it kind of ruins people because everyone is linked with people or everyone knows about signings because you've got Ornstein, Romano, and all the tier ones. Apart from you've got your tier twos and your crappy tier threes and below, but we don't have any under the radar signings anymore like we used to years ago. But when we get them, let's rejoice it. Last year, we made the right call on under the radar. Vicario and Van der Ven proved we made the right calls. So that's why I'm asking the question. Another one that you've got here is Graham
What's up,
saying
dude?
good afternoon to us both. Good afternoon, Graham.
Hey.
And then you've also got Big John.
Yo.
Afternoon, marching on together.
What is up, John? Good to see you, buddy.
So therefore, that's the reason why I've asked this question. Is it better to fly under the radar or let everybody know your business?
You know for sure, though, that if we get under the radar players, the fan base will freak out.
But then also as well, if everybody knows who you're going for, then you could turn around and measure yourself internally. You could have an internal audit at the club where you could think about the pros and cons of a player that somebody else is looking at or that we're looking at because everyone knows we're looking at him. and you start after measuring out, well, what can they offer him that we can't offer him? You know, what kind of deal would we have to give them that they won't be able to match? Stuff like that. You don't want that. What you want is you want a runway. You know, when the planes land, they want a clear path, clear runway. That's what you want. When doing these type of deals, you want it under the radar, so you've got that clear runway. So you lift off, you take off, and you land cleanly.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. And that's why I prefer sometimes not knowing what we're doing, right? And I'm just putting faith and trust, probably blind trust, in that we'll just go out and do what needs to be done. We did that last season. The season before, who knew about Basuma coming?
Right, yeah, nobody.
Who knew about Basuma coming? We woke up one morning, Sky Sports said Basuma's signing for Tottenham for
25 mil.
25 mil going up to 30. And that was it. So everything was under the radar. And that's why I prefer it to be that way, because then you don't have to go into bidding wars because everybody knows your business. So hopefully that makes kind of sense. But you've got quite a few people in the chat that are agreeing it's better for us to do our business under the radar. Who have you got? Look, Big John says the cattle market opens tomorrow. Yes, it does.
Fair enough.
In a hype, our resident scout says Strachinja Pavlovic is identical to Van der Ven, and after the Serbia game, clubs are going to be mad keen on signing him.
Interesting.
Right, and my fourth question for today, and it's the final one that I had prepared, is, and I need to know this one. This one I really need to know. Right, and I want the chat to tell me, right? How many years does it take to create a successful team, or do we just use stats when it suits us? Do you want me to elaborate on that, Colin, for you, or do you understand where I'm coming from? Right.
I think I do, but yeah.
Okay. So Postecoglou's been given a 4-year contract, right? And people are losing their minds already. Not everyone, but some people started losing their minds last season. Some people are losing their minds now. No doubt some people will lose their minds next season, right? We are trying to change the culture of the club. We are trying to change the way that we do things from top to bottom. We've done it with the academy. We're doing it with the first team. You know, we're trying to bring in a new, different brand of football, a new way of looking at things, right? But people are losing their minds already. But then I hear people say, Arsenal are ahead of us. Liverpool are ahead of us. And sometimes they turn around and they turn around and say, look what Arteta did when he got rid of the crap that they had in their team. He had to finish 8th twice and 5th, blah, 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 before they became, before they challenged, became runners-up. And this year they're runners-up, but they got a really good side. Yeah? Then I hear people saying, he had to sell Coutinho at Liverpool, and they were right dog shit. We beat him at Wembley 4-1. And then what he did, he sold Coutinho, and then he bought in the goalkeeper, and he bought in Van Dijk, and then he started building his team from there. And it took him 4 years to win a trophy. At Arsenal, it took them 4 years to get rid of everyone and for them to finish second in the league. Right? So, when people want to use their stats, they'll ram it down the throats, and they'll tell us it took 4 years for Liverpool to win something, right? Their first trophy under Klopp, and in the rebuild and the change of philosophy and what they had to do there. They tell us the same about Arteta, right? They tell us the same about Arteta, right? But yet we've brought a manager in to do this now who's only a year in, right? But he's shit. He's shit. He's a wrong one. Get rid of him. Shouldn't have given him a 4-year contract. Doesn't know what he's doing. Out of his depth. Played in a farm. Only knows about farmers leagues and all that. That's what is being said, right? Because people are saying that, but when it suits the narrative, they then tell you it took 4 years for Liverpool to build their team. It took 4 years for blah, blah to build their team. Right, Mark Cook is saying, and I can see, Mark, you're saying 24 years. I'm not talking about the Levy stuff here, Mark. I'm just talking about a manager now. I'm talking about a manager who's been brought in on a project that we can all see at the moment. We can all see the project, and yet people are shitting on the project because they feel like doing it. But when they want to talk and they want to bring in all the stats about other clubs. They'll bring it in freely and wheel out all the stats about other clubs, but them stats don't matter when it comes to Postecoglou. Then how long does it take to create a successful team? If you're a new manager, you want to start going up and down and changing the whole ethos of the club like other clubs have done before Tottenham. How long has that taken? And that's what I'm saying. How many years does it take to create a successful team, or are we just using the stats when it suits us? So that's what I'm trying to get into.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So what do you think then, Cole? What's your answer? And then I'll go to the chat after.
Yeah, I mean it's going to take, I would say, minimum of three summer transfer windows before you really start to see like the team take shape and be the team that the manager wants it to be. Like everyone's saying, though, clearing out the dead wood has been a huge part. That takes time, especially if you have a chairman like ours who wants to get as much money back as possible for every single player. Really doesn't want to take cuts, against what we paid. But we're doing that. Yeah, I'd say minimum 3 years, three to five. And but I think if any manager, not any manager, but I think if most managers got that long, I think they could be successful and do a good job and build good things. But you just don't see that in this win now world that we live in. Yes, though, to answer the second half, all of us, myself included, I think, just use stats when it suits me. Maybe not just, but when stats suit you, you're obviously more likely to pull them out. But yeah, if we're going to look at those managers, like the comparisons you made with Arteta and Klopp in their first couple seasons, by that metric, and if you could consider them successful, then yeah, 3 to 4 years.
Right. So to me, I'm kind of in agreement with you in the sense that, well, no, I'm in agreement in the sense that what I'm trying to look at is I'm looking at Postecoglou was given a 4-year deal, so it's gone against the grain of the contracts that we'd been given out prior to Postecoglou
little
coming.
Baby contracts.
Yeah, so instead of what we give Conte, what we gave Mourinho, what we gave Nuno, we've changed. We've gone for a 4-year contract with the man, right? We've brought in a brand new team behind him. Yeah, so in essence, apart from the board, everybody is new, right? So it's a new canvas, new paintbrushes, start from scratch. We're painting a picture. This is what we want the picture to look like at the end, but we're painting a picture. So he's been brought in. It's his first season. And already I'm hearing all these things. And in his first season. And I'm just like, what did people want him to do in 1 year? What was you expecting in 1 year? What are you expecting next season? And I'll say that now. If speaking on today, the 13th of June. Speaking on the 13th of June like I am today, what do you expect for next season? Look at who we've got at the moment. We haven't bought anyone yet, right? And we've got players that we're trying to get out the door, and we know some that are going, right? So we're not even set for next season. To be set for next season, these things have to happen. The revolving door. You've got to have the outs and you've got to have the ins. That now needs to happen in this revolving door that I keep talking about, right? And then that will tell us what we build for next year. At the moment, on the 13th of June, I can't tell you anything that we're going to do next season because we haven't done everything we need to do in this transfer window. And then after that, the hope is that if you're paying a manager to be with you for 4 years, there is a long-term plan there that you've got for them 4 years. And hopefully, if the plan succeeds and it works, then you must be better next season and show improvement to where you were this season. Would that be fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm muted.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
so just let me just go back to right. So you've got Big John says every team needs a stable manager and to give him the time, in my opinion. Tosper says best ask Levy. Apparently he has a plan to just do that. Tony's saying that voice is uncanny, Jose. In a hype says Serbian hooligans are what the German authorities are worried about. I've had some run-ins with them on Ukrainian Twitter. Ukrainian Twitter.
Interesting.
Okay, fair
Yeah, we're
enough.
learning more. We're
Yeah.
learning more about you all the time, and I.
In a hype's got plenty of strings to his bow, isn't he?
Yes.
Early Door says Arteta would not know a good player if it slapped him in the face. Mark Cook says, in all seriousness, for me, 4 to 5 years to have a successful team, but also caveats it by saying improving year by year. We got Jesse's here. Good afternoon, Jess. I hope you're well. Hope you're well, Jess.
Big up, Jess.
Nick says, but Jose, we have so many fans who know better than those in charge. They can use their eye test and tell you it's all going to fail.
Love it.
Do you know what? Some of the fans that we've got, we need to create our own new management team, because sometimes I do feel that we're playing football manager. Big John says, if the big Aussie gets his own players in, Spurs will push the top 4, I think. Spurs says, a successful team can only be built with the manager who is capable in the first place, and then he has to be given the tools, or you have no hope. Tony is saying to me, think with that question, Jose. It has variables, depends on the budget and the owners, and allowing the deals to go through. Fair enough. But I think I talked about some of the deals that we did last year as well. In the hype says rotation in the Carabao Cup probably came on advice of the medical team. It's an interesting take on it. Ange Ball says, I want to cement a Champions League position and have a go in the FA Cup. In the hype says that's when stats go wrong. And Early Door says, Jose, also depends on the ambitions of the owners as well. Right, Tony, because you're obviously you've got an unbiased opinion because you're a West Ham fan, so you're not Tottenham, right? I'll ask you about West Ham. How long did it take Moisey to create a winning team that you've got at West Ham? So, how long did it take Moyes to create the team that won you the Europa Conference League? Did it take him 1 year?
Wait, okay, sorry. I thought you were asking me at first. I was like,
No,
you're not
I'm
asking me.
Tony. Yeah, no, I'm asking Tony. Mark saying, have a good day, lads. Have a good day, lads, and the chat. Thank you very much. Daniel Coy says, when was the last time we built a successful team? Because under Poch, he inherited quite a few of them players, and we as a club stopped him building the rest of the potential successful team. It's interesting because I've got a show that I want to do, Daniel, and the show is going to be called Back to the Future, right? But the show that I want to do, I want people from other teams to come on. And it has to be teams. Yeah, no, I've got other teams that I want to come on. I want to do a show called Back to the Future with some other teams. I've reached out on X, but I don't really use X that much. And I've put comments out on X, but no one's come back to me yet and bitten my hand off yet. But there are a few. I want to invite a few teams on and do a show called Back to the Future. And that will make it interesting. What your point was there, it will make it interesting because, yeah, it's a show that I'm planning to do. And I'm trying to get other people, other supporters to come on to do it. I am going to ask Jesse as well, but there's other supporters from other clubs I'd like to come on as well to have a panel to ask the one question to everyone, and I've got it all ready. Everything's here. I've got everything ready for the show. I know what I'm going to do, and then it'd be interesting because it might kind of answer some of what you just said there. Subconsciously, what did you say here? Subconsciously, we put a time frame in place to achieve success, which in turn puts such pressure and demand on us that we are nudged to breaking point. True. So for me, an answer to that question, I think, you've got to give time to El Manaher, and it will take a few years. We were never going to do it inside the season, never ever. We was never ever going to do it inside the season, so it's going to take a bit longer. Here we go. Look, so he says, so with Moyes, it was a season and a half, give or take. in the 3 seasons got to semi-final, final, and quarter-final. The seasons before last transfer window was what kicked it off to get to the final. So, but did Moisey not do 2 stints at West Ham? I've got a feeling that, I don't know why I'm thinking this, that Moyes was at West Ham, left, and then came back or something. I might be wrong. Anyway, but regardless of that, it's what I'm trying to prove again. You didn't do it like that. Click your fingers. Even Man City didn't click their fingers and do it. And this is why, the fan base, and this is why we like to be level here. I'm prepared to accept and look at everyone's opinions, but we want to be level with what we're doing, and and level with what we're saying. And that's why you don't often. I don't think I've hardly ever lost my rag at all on a show, because there's lots of ways of skinning cats. There's lots of ways of looking at things, and of course you want to give a balanced opinion on what you can see out there. So, Big John, look for you, mate. T-Rex, a T-Rex with short arms. Yeah, Moisey did it in 2 stints. In a hype says there is nothing wrong with setting goals that are time bound. It serves as a source of motivation which drives us to achieve success. Daniel Coy says, yeah, he did have 2 stints at West Ham. Came in, sacked for Pellegrini, disaster, and then brought back in. And then he says it's all about opinions, which it certainly is. It certainly is. So for me, I just think, if people have asked me the question directly, and I've directly given them an answer. For me, I will measure. Although some people say, yeah, but you can measure it earlier, and you could possibly can, but I'm giving myself till the 2nd of September for this transfer window to close. If not before, it'll be the 2nd of December, and then I'll be able to sit down and think to myself where and what we're going to do and what we're going to achieve and where I think the club's going from there. Last year when I did this, last year when I did what I'm saying now, there was a different scenario bounded, but I was able to say it was in July, probably even late July. But by the middle of July, it might not have even been late July. By the middle of July, I was already saying that we were not going to get battered every week, like people were saying. And I was able to say that I felt that Tottenham wouldn't finish any lower than what they finished the previous season. They'd finish higher than that, and we wouldn't be the doom and gloom relegation team because we've lost Kane's 30 goals. So I was able to say all this by mid-July, right? We hadn't even done everything that we needed to do in the transfer window last season, but I was able to do it, and it came out. I wasn't far wrong when my thoughts were there. But the only reason why I'm being asked that question again now is because people believe that you've got to put the Levy pressure on the people. So people are now saying, well, is Levy going to back him or not? Well, I don't know whether Levy's going to back him or not. And I don't know whether it's Levy that's backing him or whether they're not the people that Ange wants. And I won't know that till the end of the transfer window. Unless Ange wholeheartedly comes out and says now that every player we let go or every signing we make says, yeah, mate, I spoke to him. Yeah, mate, I spoke to him. Yeah, mate, he was mine. Yeah, mate, I asked for him. Unless he tells me all that, I have to wait for the end of the transfer window. And that is the 2nd of September. And that will tell me and guide me to where I think my team is going and whether there is a future for us going forward. And that's why I've said to everybody, I'll decide by the 2nd of September.
Exactly.
Exactly. It says, if you haven't already, I'm not even there, smash the like button from Tony. Thanks, Tony.
Big up, Tony.
And Daniel Coyes is saying, the second signing, and if it's similar signing like Werner, uninspiring and ambitious, it will tell me everything I need to know.
But that's not fair, Daniel. What if we're saving the big, tougher transfers? What if those just take longer to negotiate? So our second signing is just one that was easier to get accomplished. So it's not inspiring, but we come back with 3 big, big money, big name signings. I don't know. I just feel like you can't, the next transfer, who knows who that's going to be? It could be a youth player. But that doesn't mean the big guys aren't coming too. But
true.
Just a thought. Just a thought.
Inner Hype says, what you do is set goals based on setting new records or achievements, like winning run or clean sheets. And then Big John says, it took Bielsa his second season to win the league when he was with us. And you won the league, and then Bielsa had to stabilise you the following year in the Premiership. And then I think it was a year after that that Bielsa then went. So Bielsa's ended up being he's done 3 and a bit seasons at Leeds. So, at the end of the day, you weren't looking at what he did in 1 year, John, was you? So, I just think it's, unless the person is an awful fit for your club, right? And I think we made that mistake. Well, big time we made that mistake whereby we brought in Nuno Espirito Santo, who from day one, before we brought him in, and when we knew he was coming in, everybody in the world and their dog knew that he was the wrong fit for Tottenham. When he turned around and said, I'll play attracting style and I'll give you the Tottenham way, you knew that was never going to happen under Nuno. So that was the big, massive mistake from the club to do that. So unless it is a big glaring mistake and you have to rectify it straight away, then you should give the people the chance, because you brought them in to do a job for you. You obviously, your thoughts must align with the manager you brought in, because the manager then has to agree to come and manage a club. So the thoughts must all align. So with him, I think at the end of the day, wow. Who is it? Right, one of my doors just come through the door. So at the end of the day, I think that we've just got to go with him and back him and do what we need to do with him. That's my look on it. Daniel Coy says, Daniel's on the one today. Look, 2 uninspired transfers in a row, mate, would not exactly show a good direction. The window looks like it's heading, though, mate. I'm just being real.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Just
then
give
you've
it
got
some time.
Big John says they didn't back him, and that's down to the club. Graham says, on the Timo signing, was it done so quick as part of a previous loan agreement? No idea, just throwing it out there. I think, look, release the hounds, and then I've got who let the dogs out. Graham, the Timo, I think Colin and I were in agreement about the Timo, why the announcement was made. Colin, do you want to give your theory and thoughts on that? I know we have done already.
I say, were we in agreement?
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
Why did we announce Timo Werner?
Because it was an easy transfer to complete. I mean, it was. Oh wait, and then sorry, no, we did say why. It was said at that time, but I can't remember now.
Right, we felt that the Timo Werner deal was probably something that would have been done and would have been announced sometime during the transfer window. But because we felt that there was going to be a leak within the club felt they had to act and announce the deal. And obviously, that's the first deal that you've then announced as a club, and people have lost their minds about it. But what I will say, and I'm going to do you know what? I ain't going to be scared to throw it out there, right? Let me just do a banner on this.
Uh-oh. All new banner, everybody. This one hasn't even been tested. We don't even know. This could be anything, you guys. Be ready. You going to make everybody mad with this one, Jose?
No, I don't like to make people mad. Right. There's a banner. Right. There we go. Right. There's a banner. There's a banner.
Yeah. They very well could.
Yeah. If you want improvement, right, from your team, you want improvement year on year out, right? Now, a team is that. It's a team. You have 11 players in your team. Yeah? You have 11 players in your team? So, therefore, if you've got 11 players in your team and these 2 players are part of that 11 or part of your squad, if they improve on what they did last season, then what are you going to say then? What's your argument going to be then?
Yeah. I've asked people the same thing quite a bit. You know, what type of, last season it was like, what type of involvement would Timo need for this season for you to count this as like a successful loan? I noticed the goalpost got moved on that a couple times, but that happens. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at Daniel's. Daniel's answer is my favorite.
Yeah, I can see that. Sorry, I'll put it up in a minute.
Good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a likely thing that they'll improve. Brennan Johnson, I mean, almost assuredly, he's a young dude, growing up, kind of learning a new style of play, or what his role is in a new team. Yeah, I only think he'll improve. Is Timo going to improve? Who knows? All he needs to do is get his finishing a little bit better, and he's pretty lethal. If that dude could finish half the time, he would be a hell of a lot better. So, yeah, it's surely possible. Yeah, and you were saying, the team needs to improve year after year, and a lot of people, you alluded to this, act like that can only be external improvement, like bringing a new player in. But the players that you have will improve. Some will improve. And yeah, that's improving the team right there. So I'll be pumped, and I'll try really hard not to rub it in everybody's faces that I was happy about the two signings if they hit their straps next season. I'll try so hard, but I can't promise it.
Right. So for me, Timo Werner, yeah, I'm in agreement with people. He probably needs to improve his goal scoring ratio, but he was the only player on a consistent basis that would try to take on the man, and he was the only player on a consistent basis that did take on his man and did get beyond the byline or down to the byline to put balls in the box. That can't be disputed. The eye test tells you straight away, and that can't be disputed. So if Timo Werner improves, when he gets his chances, if he improves his final product, which is his goals rather than his take-ons, because his take-ons are there, right? If he improves the final product of goals, then he improves as a player for us, and he improves us as a team. Yeah? Brennan Johnson needs to, for me, two things. He needs to improve his fitness to not look shaggy and tired, right? Where you either have to start him and bring him off or bring him on as a sub because he doesn't look like he can do 90 minutes because he looks knackered. He played for his country. I can't remember the last time I saw him play for Wales where he played 90 minutes. He keeps getting subbed. So I think in the last Wales game when they got pumped 4-0, he played 62 minutes. He doesn't finish a game. So for me, two things on Johnson. I want to see Johnson improve his fitness and then, if possible, bulk up a bit. If he can bulk up a little bit as well, then, that would be an improvement on Timo, on his goal scoring. And for me, Brennan, bulk up a bit and improve your bloody fitness. You're 23 years old. You should be a lot fitter. He's going around as if he's got the fitness of a 45-year-old. And that shouldn't be happening. So for me, them two things happen, and it improves them as players, but then it improves our team. And if you get that little bit of improvement from each player in the whole squad, if each player improves a little bit in the whole squad, then your squad improves and your team improves. It stands to reason.
I completely agree.
But Daniel Coy says, I would go to church and thank God. Is that the one you read? Yeah.
Good one.
John LUC Garside says, if Bielsa got the funding instead of the sack and they gave the funds to that prick Marsh, we would still be up there, I think. Round Table Talk says, I don't care who it is. If they improve the team, then I'm all for it. Graham's 100% with that. And then also says, Timo only had 8 starts, I think, plus hardly played prior to coming to us. So his contributions weren't all that bad. Ricky Osvaldo is here and he says, Ange out. And then Ricky also says, we need a new manager. It's cheaper than bringing in several new players. And then you've got the round table. Nick says, fitness of a 45-year-old. I feel attacked. Sorry, Nick. And then Ricky Osvaldo is also saying, big up the panel. Big up to you, Ricky. I hope you're well. Ricky. I hope you're well. I pray
we don't get a new manager. By the way, Ricky, I'm glad you're here, but I don't agree with that. I don't know. I'd be interested. So which players, Ricky, I'm not trying to come at you at all, but so which players do you think would fit in another manager's system that don't fit Ange's? You know what I mean? Like what are we? I don't know. I don't see the save. Where we'd be saving much, because I still don't think a lot of these players would contribute much for anybody. But I don't know. Interesting thought. It definitely would be cheaper to buy more players, or to buy a manager, hire a new manager, than it would to get a lot of players. But I think we're past that, or at least I hope we are. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Oh, I think I might be frozen. Nope. Okay. Good. Everything is still here. Ricky is saying, though, that all the players lost form under Ange. Dang. Okay. Well, and that could be the system change. The fact that, the fact that the goals were kind of coming from everywhere. It was much more of like a shared task of scoring goals this last season. So 1 second here. All players lost form under Ange. It's hard to say. I mean, that was Sonny's second best season numbers wise with us. I know that it wasn't awesome, and there was definitely a lot of like moments where a new manager will galvanize the players. I don't agree, Ricky, but I'm really glad you're here, man. Really glad you're here. So let me find out something here. Jose went. Oh, there he's back. Hey, buddy.
Sorry, I had to just go and get something.
No, you're good. You're good. I thought that was my computer messing up, so I was like, "Oh no, what happened?" But you're here. All is good.
Was he saying? I wish that Spurs were coming for Brendan Aronson. Right, I don't know. Aronson, right, John. I'm prepared to be educated by you, mate. Right, Brendan Aronson, was he not one of the players that was brought in under Marsh? And he came. It was Marsh in Germany before he came here. And this he's brought the player from Germany to here. But this Aronson fella, was he on loan last season to another club? And now he's come back at the end of his loan. And if this is the case, and I'm right in what I'm saying, then why are Leeds supporters opposed to Brendan Aronson? Or Brendan Aronson, or whatever his name is. Why are people so opposed to him?
I don't know, man. Good question. I'm excited to see the type of answers we get.
Yeah, I'm not. No, because this is obviously a Leeds player. But at the end of the day, yes, we're predominantly Tottenham, but it's a fan channel at the end of the day, and it does say in my description that when I set up the channel that I will talk about any football. So we welcome people from other clubs on this chat, and I just want to know a bit more about this Aronson chap, because I'm sure I've seen a lot of comments about this Aronson, and I'm like, what's he done wrong? So Aronson is he a USA international then?
To be honest, I don't know.
I'm only saying that because Nick has put down Tyler Adam is better, and then Hel McKennie is better. So that's what I was trying to understand. Is Brendan Aronson?
Yeah, he is. He is. He
USA international.
Playing for Union Berlin.
So what does? No, he was on loan. It says
to Union Berlin from Leeds. Yeah.
So John says yes, Jose. He was on loan, but he's saying he wants to play for Leeds, but he needs to bulk up. But what's he like a player though? That's what I'm interested in. What's he like a player? Obviously, Nick, you know him because Nick's commenting. So Nick will probably give me an opinion on the USA opinion on him. Where John, you can give me an opinion on what you think of him as a player. Because I don't even know what position he plays in.
Winger.
You're saying that he needs to bulk up.
Yeah, he plays on the wing.
Ricky Osvaldo says we lost 6 out of 7 matches at the end of the season. This is stackable performance. Daniel Coy says, I'm not throwing hands under the bus for these selfish players deciding what months of the season they want to play well in. The players have been a disgrace even before Ange was here. Nick is saying to me, yes, he has a younger brother that is going to be better than him. And then Big John says he might take the championship up as a 10. I think that's his level, to be honest. And round table, yeah, Nick's also saying, yeah, Brendan Anderson mainly plays as a 10. Right, as I said, I don't know because I've not seen enough of this player, but it's just, yeah, I saw loads of comments coming in from leagues people on certain channels and on social media, all going in against this Brendan Aronson. So I was just trying to find out what the score was. Inner Hype says Thiago Motta is the best up and coming manager. His philosophy is exactly the same as Ange's, but Nick says that Motta is going to win Serie A next season. Where's Motta gone to? Who's he going to manage?
He looks
Thiago Motta.
Yep. So Juve.
He's gone to Juve. Okay, well, you know, when you're stepping into Juve, Oh yeah, Nick's just said Juve now. He's not bad. He's not great. He's about championship level. Okay. Right. Okay, so I went and got my phone because I'm just worried that we're coming towards the end of the show, and I thought to myself, all right, let me have a look. I thought to myself, and I thought to myself.
We went in my head too. That was funny.
Did it? Right,
really
let me have a look. Let me look. It's a quick flash through Shitter. See if Shitter's saying anything. Tottenham are amongst. Oh no, does that say Tottenham? Yeah, but it skips. Tottenham are amongst clubs interested in Epereche Eze of Crystal Palace, and that's from Gary Jacob, whoever that may be.
Well, he's astute, quite an astute guy. Yeah, no one knew that.
But no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah. Breaking news. No, this has got to be surely. This has got to be crap, isn't it? It says breaking news. NUFC, which is Newcastle United, have contacted Crystal Palace over the possibility of signing Michael Elise, according to David Ornstein. And Ornstein's a tier 1 journo. You've got Big John is saying, hope we sign Rondon, to be fair. We haven't gone yet, Tony, but thank you very much. I'm just checking shit now to see if there's anything lastly to say before we go, because the show is nearly done. So just reading out what I can see. Who else we got here? Who's this player here? Don't look nothing like Elise, this player. Okay, so we've got Christian Romero is happy at Tottenham, and with the direction Spurs are going in, Tottenham will only accept bids above their asking price of Romero, which is £80 million. And that is coming from tier zeros. So, you know, at the end of the day, there's no concrete tier ones that have said the Romero story. They've all jumped on the back of tier 0 people and said it. Lloyd Kelly has been shown. So Lloyd Kelly must have signed for Newcastle United today. And it must have been in the last hour or so, because he's now showing a number 25 at the back of a Newcastle shirt. Newcastle United, Bayern and Chelsea are all making a move for Elise. Is there any stuff here? Bayern Munich are looking to sign Levi Colville. Now, he's a really good centre-half, Levi Colville. So when they took Tosin Adarabioyo, I turned around and I actually forgot about Levi Colville. And I turned around and said that even though Adarabioyo's gone on a free to Chelsea and everyone was saying, but he'll come and play second fiddle at Tottenham, I thought to myself, well, at Chelsea, he's going to do well to beat all the French lads, because he's got to get past Badiashile, he's got to get past Disasi, and he's got to get past Fofana. I actually forgot about Levi Colville. So he's gone there. There's 5 centre-halves. So you're talking about battling with 3 centre-halves here, but you're battling with 4 at Chelsea. But were Tottenham ever in for him?
Yeah,
That's the thing we'll never know because papers talk, don't they, and bullshit walks. So,
Yep.
What else we got? We got anyone else here? Right, reports in Italy are suggesting that Tammy Abraham 26 is available. And would you take him? But there's no concrete rumours with Tottenham. Yeah, so shit is not saying really much. At the end of the day, the difficulty that we've all got, and I mean everybody here, the difficulty that we've all got is you've got bloody, and I keep saying this, you've got the European Championships and you've got the Copa America taking place, which makes it difficult for a lot of teams or for a lot of people to do any business because a lot of the players that people are going to be looking at, and I say a lot, but it's not really because if I look at it's a lot for other clubs, but maybe not for our club. A lot of the players will be involved at the Euros or the Copa America. But when I look at it, if you're signing players that are at them competitions, then it might be difficult. But we only have 6 players at them competitions. 7 players. We have 7 players at them competitions. And we've got a squad of 25, and only 7 of our players are involved. So if people want to come and buy players from Tottenham, then please come and buy our players because not all of them are going to be at the Copa America and at the European Championships. The only player that we're trying to sell, or the only 2 players that I think we're trying to sell, or we may look for offers that are playing in either Euros or the Copa America, are Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Giovanni Lo Celso. Other than that, the other 18 of them, but don't touch my Vicario. But the other players, and don't touch Pedro Porro or Udogie. But then the other players, don't touch Ismail Assar. But then the other players, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Tottenham have still got players here at home who are not involved in the 2 competitions. If you want to come and buy some more players, you're more than welcome to do so.
They are for sale.
And then there's other teams that probably want to sell their players as well, who may well not have players at the tournament either, and therefore they could go on sale as well. Right. Here we go. Just finishing off. Please, Jose. Oh, please, no singing, Jose. My ears are bleeding. I thought I had a good voice. Oh, yeah. Juve on the Italian club next season. The wheel of corruption led me to them. Hi, Danny. Hope you're well, mate. Danny Talk Sport. Changed his picture.
Up,
Rodon won't sign, John. I said 5 months ago we ain't signing him. Danny, I think we will sign. John, they want 15 million for him. We ain't paying that. Well, I thought you had rich owners. Ricky Osvaldo, why not play the youth? We may discover gems and need to sign any players. The fella that's gone to who's the fella? The fella that's gone to manage Birmingham or whatever, and somebody else at the club. They turned around and said, although we've got good players coming through, they're not ready for first team football.
Doesn't surprise me.
So at the end of the day, people need to. We're not playing Football Manager, Ricky. We're not playing Football Manager. Totally agree with playing young players because I want that to happen. It's the only way to embed them in. But if they are not ready, then no point in playing them because they'll just sink. They won't swim. They'll sink if they're not ready. And players throughout the clubs, players within the club, staff within the club, and even the staff that have gone, like the guy that's gone to manage Birmingham, he said, got some fantastic young players there, but they're not ready for first team Premiership football yet. So maybe loan some of them out with decent loans that work for the player, the loan club, and ourselves, bulk them up, get them into men. Let's see what happens. We will soon see after the year's PSR, whatever it's called, is over, who comes in. Ricky Osvaldo saying Celadoghi and Porro are both useless. In the hype, new players always present themselves at the Euros and the Copa America. Robert Brozovic at Slovakia, Baturina of Croatia, Pavlovic, these kind of players. Success this season is making players sellable. Right. Have you got anything more to add, Mr. Collin?
No, not really. Just thanking everybody. I just want to thank everybody for being here, of course. And you for allowing me on your lovely channel.
No. You know you're always welcome, my son. You're always welcome here. I'm trying to see if I can find where you posted your thing earlier so I can bring it back up. I'll find it. No, so I'll find it because I can see because you're my. Here we go. Because you're my spanner, I know when you did it. There we go. People, do the right thing. Go and support Colin at. Oops, let me hide that. Go and support Colin at. Where's he gone? I had it there a minute ago. Let me go back to it again. There it is. Right, go and support Colin at talkandball_Cole. Give him some love. Some love. Colin needs some love. And what I'll say to people is that I have put on my community page, I think I might have done it at the end of the month. I did say on my community page that if I reach 500, I will do the Predictions League next season. And I am not far from it. I am 63 away from it.
Hell yeah.
So if I get the 63, what I wanted to do is I want to get the 63 by before the end of July. So what I can do is a celebratory 500 sub show with my birthday. And then that'll mean I can then relax with my leave with my family because I'm off for a couple of weeks. I can relax with my family and then come back firing and ready to do the Predictions League for everybody because I know that everybody enjoys the Predictions League. And again, for those people that are watching the show and commenting now, you have to be subscribers to do so because I put it on sub only. And for the Predictions League, it's so much work that the only people that can enter the Predictions League will be people that sub to the channel because it's only fair that I give the attention to those that support me and follow the channel. So that is where I come from. So yeah, people go over and support Colin. Colin's a good bloke. Go and support Colin.
Thanks,
Colin
guys.
Colin helps me. I help Colin.
It's a good relationship we have here.
We go hand in hand. So yeah, please support Colin at the page there.
Thank you.
What we got just before to close off the people that have said, we've got. To me, it's very telling that we're still going for younger players 18 to 20 or who just aren't ready. Ange Ball, thank you very much for your comments. As said, top show, lads, and chat. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you very much for being here, Ange Ball. Roundtable talk. Nick says hit the like button. Thank you for being here, Nick. Ricky, Osvaldo, have a nice day, both of you gents. Thank you for being here, Ricky Osvaldo.
Yeah, you have a good day too, man.
Fuck's sake, Jose, don't wear your birthday suit on the 500 subs, lol. Cheers, Big John, for being here. Thank you very much. Early doors, thank you, sir. It's climbing. Alison, hi, Alison. Says hi, just popped in to say hi to Jose and Colin. Hi, Alison. I hope you're well, my darling. I hope your life is good for you. In a Hype says, looks like 7 going, leaving loads of space for a mix of youth and new signings. And Dry Roasted Peanut says, sup, lads? What's up is that we've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, Dry Roasted Peanut, and it's time for us to bend away. And Colin's got to go to work.
But you can rewatch the show on playback.
Yeah, Colin's got to go to work. I have to get on with some family stuff. But it's been good. 5 questions asked today. Got many answers from people in the chat. It kind of leads me into a direction with what the people in the chat, because you people in the chat are fans, whether you're fans of Tottenham or whether you're fans of football. It's interesting to see where your thought processes are and what your thoughts are as fans, regardless of what team you support. And yeah, it's been very insightful listening to your comments and your opinions today. So, like to thank every single one of you for being here. And if you haven't done so already, hit the like button on the way out, and it'd be much appreciated. So, with nothing, have you got anything final to add? Because normally I give you the final.
Yeah, no, just big love to everybody. Be good to yourself and everybody around you, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.
And it's,
come on, you Spurs.
He's got it. In Ange we trust.
Yep.